Hey everybody! These are going to be art projects for my pre-primary group for the week of April 20th through the 24th. We're going to make a couple things today. We're going to do a little coffee filter butterfly, and the other thing we're going to make is a little fingerprint spring flower picture, so that'll be a fun one too. So let's go over what we need today for the materials for our coffee filter butterfly. So we're going to need a paper plate, coffee filter, pair of scissors, pipe cleaner, some washable markers, and water. Now you can have a water in a spray bottle. This will also work too if you just kind of, sprinkle some water on your coffee filter when we get to that point with your hand if you don't have a spray bottle. So that's okay too. All right. So the first thing we're going to do is you're going to have your kiddos. You're going to put the coffee filter down on the plate, okay? And then I would just have the kids color whatever colors they want to with the markers. And they like doing this. So, and again, I would talk to them about what each color was and whatnot to see if they know their colors. So I would just go ahead and add the color. Okay, so you just add the color onto the coffee filter. And then you just keep going until you get as many colors on there as you want. Now I'm just going to demonstrate making one today, but they can make as many as you'd want to. Just keep playing with the colors and keep making more designs or patterns, or just usually at this age group they kind of scribble a little bit, but that's okay for this particular project. Okay, so I've got my color on, so I'm going to set that on my plate, and then I'm going to spray it with some water. All right, so just spray the water, or like I said, you can take it over the sink and just sprinkle just a little bit of water. You just want enough so that it's going to cover it and help the marker to spread. See? All right, so the next step is waiting until that dries. So I want that to be all dry, so that's a good time to go take a break and have a snack or do something else, and let this dry. Once it's dry, you're going to tie your pipe cleaners or pipe cleaner on the coffee filter. So I'm actually going to take this apart for just a quick minute and show you then how to fold this and how to add the pipe cleaner. Okay. So I have my dry coffee filter. I'm going to set that aside. And I'm going to take my pipe cleaner and I'm going to just fold it in half and just cut it in half. Okay? Then I'm going to take my coffee filter and fold it like a fan. And if you don't know what that means, that's just back and forth. So I'm going to fold it over and then back the other way, and then in front and then in back, and then in front and then in back. So it's just like a fan. Okay? And then I'm going to set it down and put the pipe cleaner under it and bring it up, and then just twist it in the middle. Okay? And then I kind of open up the wings just like that, and then you could bend your little antenna just like that. So that's how you make a butterfly with a coffee filter. All right, so that's going to be a lot of fun. I'm sure they always like to make those. All right, so the next thing we're going to need to do is this picture right here. Now again, we're going to use the colors that I have on here just so I can show you, but you can surely choose any flower colors that you want. You don't have to use specifically the ones that I did. All right, so again, let me show you the supplies that we're going to need for that. We're going to need a cup of water and a brush. I'm using a brush about that big. Okay. Watercolor paint. Got my watercolors. I'm going to use watercolor paper. I love using the watercolor paper. It works really well. And I'm going to use washable paints and a paper plate. And yeah, that's all we'll need for this. And fingers, of course. You're going to want to maybe wash hands in between as you do this, and I'll tell you when we should let it dry and what have you. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to paint the sky. So we're going to get water on our brush and just paint the sky back and forth. Okay, so back and forth down to about there. So if you can see that, I'm going to all the way from the top and just go back and forth all the way down to about there. And we're going to add green on the bottom of that, okay? So I'm going to set this down, and I'm just going to put my sky on. Back and forth. I always tell them back and forth. That's how my youngest ones learn their brush strokes. They go back and forth. Okay. Yeah, so now I've got all of my blue on. So next thing I want to do is add the green watercolor to the bottom part of my paper. All right. So I've filled up all of my paper with paint now. I've got on blue on the top and green on the bottom. So when you get to this point, that's when I would let it dry. Okay, so let it dry. It doesn't take long. It'll be less than an hour, but let it sit, let it dry. Then you're going to come back and you're going to use your washable hand paints. Okay, and the first thing I'm going to use is the green. I'm going to put a little bit out on my plate. I'm going to use a plate as a palette. Okay, and then I would have your kiddos take the green and then just tell them pull it up, pull it up, pull it up, pull it up. So from the bottom, they're just pulling it up, pulling it up, pulling it up. Just like that. And then I would have them pull some up higher, up in here too. Okay, and that goes all the way across. So we're going to do that all the way across. Okay, so I'm going to do that real quick. Just get my grass on there. And after we get this on, that's the part I would take another break again and let this all dry before you put your flowers on your grass, okay? We're going to let it all dry. Okay, so the next step I want to do is I want to take my red. After the grass is dried, that's when I'm going to add my flowers, okay? So I'm going to get a little bit of red and show you how I made mine. They look like little poppies almost. So we're pretending that mine is dry. It is not, but yours should be dry. And I just go 1, 2, 3, 4. See that? I'll bring it closer. 1, 2, 3, 4. And their fingers are much smaller than mine, so they'll have some cute small flowers. 1, 2, 3, 4. And you just keep doing those wherever you want your red ones. So I'd put some higher up towards the sky area and then some that are lower by the grass, okay? Okay, so I think that's all the red that I want to put on mine. Now I'm going to add some little purple flowers. And they're shaped differently. They kind of go up like this, don't they? Up. Almost like little cone shapes. So I'm going to, of course you'd be washing your hands in between each of these colors, but I'm just going to keep going so you can see what we need to do. The next step, I'm going to get that purple. Okay, and get some purple and put it on the plate. Again, this takes very little amount of paint. You really don't need much. All right, so I'm going to come a little closer and show you how I do these. I'd have them put one there and then over there, over there, over there, over there, over there, over there. So it's across from each other. Okay, and that's how you make those flowers. Now I'm just going to keep making some of those on my paper. Okay, and you just put those here and there wherever you think you want them. In the tall grass and in the shorter grass. Just like that. Okay. Awesome. Now, moms and dads, I would let this dry at that point. And then when you're done, you can go back and say, I'm going to use this purple, but you can go back and either add purple in the middle of these red flowers or a little bit of black. That would look pretty too. That's what I have on mine. So you'd go back when it's dry and just add a little touch of paint to the middle of the red flowers. And then the other thing you can do, if you have a brush or with your finger, you could just take a little line and draw it for the stems on some of these flowers like that. Just so they look like they're coming from somewhere. They're grounded. Okay? Just like that. It's very cute. You can even add some little yellow ones and turn them into little bumblebees if you want, or put little red ladybugs or little worms in the grass with your fingers. Just be creative and have fun. It's always fun when you can add more things to your paintings and make them special. Well, that's it for today. I hope you have a great time, and I'll see you next time.